Hey everyone, so another theme that's been coming through quite strongly throughout May has been about the soul's incarnation process, and how once that begun, for many of us, we separated into thousands of different incarnations, which, although we see them as past lives or future lives or being in another dimension, maybe on the same timeline, they are all happening concurrently. So when we're going into that kind of soul level, we take out the linearity of time. And my guides were telling me that the various parts of our soul, the various incarnations that we have, they move into different frequencies, and as they go kind of through their own experience, some choose to go into higher frequencies and some incarnate into lower frequencies, and then the life experience that they're having throughout those different incarnations will fluctuate slightly in its resonance depending on what they go into and experience within that lifetime. And my guides had shown me that once we start to go into states of awareness where we are able to tune into those other incarnations, we bring ourselves to becoming much more aware of them, of knowing that they exist. So you may have already done that, you may have experienced something of your past lives or of yourself in another dimension, or that may be something that you haven't begun yet and it's a journey you'd like to undertake, and you can do that through meditation, through going into those kind of trance states, those theta states of brainwave patterns. And once we are aware of them, then we can start to bring our frequencies back into alignment. So for that purpose, that those souls, they seem separate, they seem like separate lives, separate experiences, but they are all part of our energy, which kind of did itself up to have different experiences. And the energies of our various incarnations all play into each other. So if you're having a particular experience, say something happened to you in a past life that seemed particularly unpleasant, that's why we need to learn how to step into and release those connections, because they actually affect the energy of our current incarnation, because they're actually all happening at the same time and it's all part of the same soul. So when we can learn to be aware of them, we can begin to interact with them. So we can interact with those parts of ourselves that are on much higher planes, much higher frequencies, and obtain some of the knowledge and wisdom from those places, as well as connecting to those that are in lower frequency that need to be lifted. And once we begin to regain all the parts of our soul, remember all the parts of our soul and where it's gone, where it's been, or certainly the key parts that are affecting us energetically through this lifetime that we're now experiencing, then we begin to lift the frequency of all those parts. And so my guides have shown me that this month is energetically very much a good time to start doing that. So I was able to go into a meditation where I could see many of the incarnations that I've had, which I was already aware of, but they were able to all move into one light body and become much more in alignment. And through that happening, we were able to move to higher planes of frequency. So once you're able to bring those parts of yourself into alignment, then you can start to move up through the frequencies, because you'll bring the incarnations that are in a lower resonance up into the one that you're in, and the ones that you have interacted with that are on higher planes, that will lift all of you to those higher planes as well. So once you start to move into that alignment, you are really given a much more open, awake, aware perspective on everything, on every aspect of human existence, but also the cosmos and the other kind of parts of energy and self and soul and source. So if you haven't already tried any work to uncover some of those past lives, now's a good time to do it. But if you can just sit with yourself in a meditative state and just feel into the energy of possibility of the different frequencies that are out there, and just allow that feeling of openness, of expansion of your own energy to come in, that'll help to start to open up your own ability to tune into and see those other past lives, those other incarnations, and start to interact with them more, so that you can then begin to move and lift your frequency collectively.